Out of all my hats, this free hat I got from my dad, the Buffalo Bills hat, is like the most comfortable one. So I like wear it all the fucking time now. It
At
keeps
least
my
they're
hair out of my
decent this
face.
year. You won't get too made fun of.
I know that's
This is usually the part of the year where we start just going on a nosedive. So I'm a little nervous. We'll see.
that's what my brother was saying that when I went to Thor because I was like, I've been wearing this Bills hat a lot. He's like, well, you're lucky they're good this year, and I was like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no. All right, here we go. All right, we are back, guys. This is the Midpoint Marvelous Facts. We got two people we're going to bring, well, one person and one group we're going to bring to you today. The first one is movie tie-in Midpoint Marvelous Facts here. So we're going to go over Hela, who was in Thor Ragnarok, kind of the villain of that movie. Well, not kind of, she was the villain of that movie. But she was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby way back in 1964 March in Journey into Mystery number 102. So if you're looking for first appearance of Hela, that's where you can find her. Couple crazy facts about this chick here. Her true father / creator is subject to debate and is varied over time from Loki to Odin. So yeah, well, like I said, I don't want to spoil anything about the movie yet. We'll do that in our end segment, but yeah. So she kind of goes back and forth depending on what book you're reading here, as far as history goes and how she was created or born or made or whatever. Technically, the left side of her body is dead and decayed. However, when wearing her cloak, it appears alive and healthy. Without her cloak, she's kind of like stuck in hell and has no power truly. So that's kind of a pretty interesting fact. She is based on Norse goddess Hel. So yeah, they're not really too original there, but that's where they get the idea from. Hela is based on the Norse goddess Hel. So yeah, she's basically like a goddess of hell, rules over hell. Her name is Hel, and that's where the idea of Hela comes from. She's even like kind of the ruler of or the queen of hell, they say in the Marvel universe, so to speak, goddess of death. A lot of deaths and goddesses of death rolling around in the Marvel U.
Yeah,
there's
actual death,
literally actual death, and then there's the goddess of death. So I wonder who's higher in the hierarchy there of hell and death and all that.
I would say death is because she's the the
embodiment of actual death.
Yep.
So yeah, that's Hela. You got anything to add on Hela? She's kind of new to me a little bit. She's made out with Thanos last I saw her in the comics recently.
Yeah, I think they're gonna put her in that role. What was that? Was she made out of? That was Mighty Thor 700, right?
Yeah.
And I think the last time I saw her was in Unworthy Thor.
Oh yeah, she was in Unworthy Thor. Yeah, she killed like two of Thanos' kids, didn't she?
Yeah. I was just looking at that last night. That's the only reason why I remember that.
Yeah. I really like that book. I'll have to reread it. I thought about getting that Unworthy Thor trade. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did really. I was rereading the first couple issues last night, and I really enjoyed it. And I like the art was great because they got Kim Jacinto to help out Oliver Coipel, and they have similar styles, so you couldn't even tell where one ended and one began. So it didn't take
kind
you out
of the
book.
last
But
true story with Tooth Gnasher in it before he bit the dust.
Yeah, you know what I realized? I was reading an older Thor book the other night, and he has two goats. One is named Tooth Gnasher, and the other, I forget the other's name, but he's got two goats. So there's another one out there.
All right, nice. I'm gonna get another goat, but hopefully he lives up to the hype level I had for Tooth Gnasher whenever he would come on the page. But yeah, we're gonna answer some of Trevitt's questions here with the second spotlight, and that is on Power Pack. They were created by Louise Simonson, June Bergman, and Bob Wycheck. First appearance back in 1984, August, Power Pack number 1. So we got these 4 kids, Alex, Julie, Jack, and Katie Power, were gifted by an alien, Alfrene Whitemane, a member of the alien race known as the Chameleons, much along the lines of Green Lantern. So he kind of gave them their powers.
Chameleons.
Alfrene split his powers evenly before I can't fucking read today. Let me start this over.
Oh,
Alfrine split his powers evenly between the 4 children and commanded his starship named Friday to watch over them. So that's where they get all their power and stuff from. You got something on the chameleons there?
yeah, that's they're one of the inhuman races, the horse ones, I think.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah, I know what you're talking. The
They were in
like
Royals.
Gorgon.
You remember in Royals? The last issue of Royals
we read. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember the horse guy who got vaporized?
Yeah, those are the chameleons. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the chameleons.
Okay, so that's where like it's kind of an origin story, loosely like Green Lanternish. You know, he came down to Earth and he was dying, so he split his power evenly among the 4 kids and
That's cool.
Gifted them their starship, which kind of looks out for them and watches over them, gives them information and shit, from what I understand. We didn't really see the starship in the last issue we read, though, so I thought that was mildly interesting. You know, they also got access to this ship, which is probably in possession of the Future Foundation at this point, if I had to make any strange guesses on things. But yeah, we'll get into Power Pack uniforms here, which was Trevor's some of beef with the issue. So each member of Power Pack was given a costume made of unstable molecules by the smart ship Friday. Franklin Richards was later also given a costume by Friday as well. With the verbal command costumes on, the costume will appear, replacing any existing clothes they currently wear. The costumes are maintained when not in use by residents of an alternate reality known as elsewhere. So yeah, they can basically summon these costumes at will when they state costumes on. Yeah, so they can literally appear out of anywhere, I guess.
That's dope.
Yeah, they get around on this starship Friday, and that's who helps them out. You know, and
Friday,
then they
like,
each
Tony's AI.
Where we went over talking about the issue there.
Like Tony's AI Friday.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same Friday or not. I mean, it could be
something different
in with the Fantastic Four and all that. You know, they could have basically modernized this alien. I just don't. Maybe Joe can help us out with that. Is that the same Friday as Iron Man? Is our question for Joe there.
He claims he created her. So, oh wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, maybe not, or maybe Tony just altered it and takes credit for. Yeah, that sounds like a Tony thing to do. But
it does sound like a Tony thing to do,
right? Anyway, the last fact I have here is Power Pack last operated as a team in New Jersey when they fought the supervillains Grizzly and Big Wheel. So, I guess that was the last Power Pack team story. I don't know. That's from a wiki, and I've never read an issue until 63. So take that for what you will. But you know, we're going to send you guys off to book section 3 here, where Trevitt's going to fill us in on Guardians of the Galaxy's first legacy issue. So we got rid of that all-new moniker. It's just plain old Guardians of the Galaxy again. And we're going to start off with issue number 146 here in Legacy. And Trevitt's going to take it away from here and let us know what he thought.
All right. So, Guardians of the Galaxy 146, written by the great Jerry Duggan, art and inks by Marcus II, color by Ian Herring, and letters by Virtual Calligraphy's Corey Pettit. Cover by Aaron Cooter, who is the title's regular artist, and when he needs time to, like, because he takes a lot of time to detail his shit, so we get other great people, and Marcus too is one of those other great people on top of Rod Rice who fill in while Cooter's doing the next arc. So I like Marcus too. He did that Nightwing arc, the Bloodhaven arc, over at DC, but I guess Marvel stole him away for Guardians. So what are you gonna do? Good thing. I'm glad.
Yeah, not everyone's signed to that exclusive moniker, I guess, at DC, even though you know what I'm saying? It feels like when they first started Rebirth, everyone was exclusive. Now
yeah, they started going picking people up. Oh, look at this. Dan Slott quoted your tweet. I just got it. You did it from the Marvel Madness account? Yeah, I just got a he said yes.
Okay. All right. There's our answer. Nice.
Yeah. That's all it was. He quoted the tweet and said yes. All right. So I guess it is in continuity. I was troubled on that book because of that, but I guess now we know. Look at that. He answered back in a timely manner.
Yeah. The dude's been tweeting all morning about that terrorist or gun thing that went down in Texas.
In Texas.
I knew this was a good time to get them. So
Good move. Good move. All right, so we start this issue off with the Brotherhood of Raptors on a Shi'ar ship, where the Imperator sits on a throne made from piles of Novacore helmets. They're going through the information that their spies gathered on the core, and talking about Jesus, I should have used spell check. How easy it's going to be to take them out the second time, because they've already taken out the Nova Core, and I think the planet of Xandar is a virtual fucking wasteland.
I'm excited about the free advertising we also just got. Not to brag.
Yeah. That's a really good fucking point. I didn't even think of that. Good thing you did it from the Marvel Madness account too. So.
That was a good one.
Thanks, Dan Slot.
I was just really too lazy to log out of that Twitter account and sign into my other one, which is the only reason I did it from there too.
Because a lot of people are going to see that, so that's good shit right there. All right. I didn't even think of that. Anyway, so next we go over to The Rock, which is not the wrestler or the actor, but the Nova Corp's main base. They are rebuilding after the last base was destroyed. Luckily, all the home worlds of all the members are pitching in with everything they need, but they also have a ton of money from the mining operation that they got going on, which is kind of cool. But you know, there's a problem.
Just to interrupt you real quick. Didn't the Nova also the Nova base would ever also get blown up in the movies recently, or did they stop it?
They stopped that. Yeah, they stopped that in the first Guardians.
Yeah,
although
I was trying to. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while. I was trying to remember what happened there.
Although a big chunk of Xandar did get taken out by Ego in that movie when he was trying to like terraform all the planets in his image.
Yeah.
So it could have gotten destroyed. But anyway, so yeah, so you know they got all the money and all the stuff they need, but the problem is morale is low, and most of the corpsmen they have are corrupt and don't give a shit. On top of that, their leader Scott Aditz, who is a weak little bald dude from Earth, is an even bigger problem because no one likes Earth or respects anyone from Earth. So at this morning's briefing, no one's really listening. Everyone's just booing him and fucking off like a bunch of assholes. God knows why they even joined the Nova Corps. But so that's why he brought in the Guardians. That is a big reason, because he's been after them to join the Guardians for a while, because you know they need people like experienced people to lead the team, and since all the Nova Corps was pretty much murdered with the exception of a few people like the actual Nova and Richard Rider, here we are. We got the Guardians. So after their briefing, he gives them a rundown of their assignments and what the 411 is on the problems that he's having. Jesus Christ, someone's calling my house. Shut up. So he briefs them on all the problems, like all the equipment that's gone missing and the money that's been stolen and the systems that have been sabotaged. So he splits them up into different groups so they can interact with as many corpsmen as possible. Everyone pretty much goes off on their own with the exception of Gamora and Ant-Man, who get paired up. And we'll come back to that later because they have the main mission, the main story in the issue. And then Drax and Groot, who go off to a forest planet, who I'm sure we'll touch on in the next issue. And we don't get to see them for the rest of the issue. But first we get Star-Lord going over the rosters and noticing that Richard Rider is alive, which we've all known for a while. But now he's just discovering, which makes sense that he's gives a shit about that because Richard Rider used to be a member of the Guardians back in the day during the Dan Abnett.
They were lost in the Cancerverse together.
Yeah. So they're good friends. So I'm sure, and I know from future solicits that Richard Rider is going to be joining the Guardians. This, for a minute, I just want to say that this book keeps getting crazier and crazier, and the team just keeps getting better and better because Ant-Man joined last issue, and then Warlock's coming back, and then Nova's going to join the team. So it's going to be like a mixture, you know, because they kind of have their movie personalities in the movie ship, but it's also references deep cuts from like the Marvel universe, from like previous Guardians runs, and like past members are going to start joining the team that, you know, everybody's comfortable and knows.
Yeah, they've done a good job with the cosmic stuff lately. Like I would say that's one of the more interesting areas of like the Marvel books out in the last year.
They really have. And this one is like the Avengers of the cosmic. This is like the Avengers book of the cosmic universe that they got going on right now. So if you want a good Avengers book, just read Guardians because it's probably the most refreshing book on the shelf. But so Rocket is finding out how corrupt the core really is when he catches these two jackasses drinking some impounded. Jesus, I'm gonna try sat satvisk. I can't say it. Satvix
Yeah, I'm
wine.
horrible with these space
Yeah,
fucking names. Start getting me into Asgardian names and all this shit. I just read it, but don't say it out loud and move on in my head. That's
yeah. I'm trying. So I go Satvix Cussian. So Satvix Cussian wine. I'm just gonna go with that. Sound
there
it
you
out
go.
like they taught me in grade school. Let's try it out. But even that doesn't work sometimes because some of these names are just impossible to pronounce. But
Yeah.
Rocket seems to be taking the job a little serious. But to be honest, he's just here so he can steal shit, pretty much like usual. Like people are telling him about like where like certain vaults are, asking him to help out with security of certain things, and he's like, yeah, I'll help you out with the security. And the whole reason why he's doing it is so later on he can fucking rob them. But he seems to be really into his position because right off the bat the Guardians have been made senior corpsmen, so they're pretty much in charge of all these other people now. So next we catch up with Ant-Man, who pretty much has, next to Star-Lord, has the coolest fucking helmet. Like it's a combination of a Nova helmet with the Ant-Man helmet, and it just looks really fucking dope. I love the way it looks.
Yeah.
So him and Gamora are checking out a distress call. They get to where they're going, and no one's answering them back at first when they send out their hail. But then an Ultron hits the front of their window, kind of like Thor does in that leaked fucking Infinity War trailer to the Guardians. But so where the fuck was I? Oh yeah. Here I am. Nope, that's the wrong spot. Yep. So the Ultron hits their window, and then they know what they're in for. And then at that moment, they get a response from the ship telling Scott and Gamora that they're the people that they're looking for, the people who sent out the distress call, are in the engineering bulkhead, and they're the only survivors. Well, they believe they're the only survivors. So they head into the ship, and they're immediately detected by an Ultron due to Scott's Pym particles. So because now, I mean, Ultron was created by Hank Pym, so they would probably be able to detect those anyway. But since now Ultron is half Ultron, half fucking Hank Pym, he'll take interest. Deep out in space, you find someone with a Pym particle, that's very curious. So the Ultron starts heading over, and where the fuck was I? keep losing my fucking place. So they head into the ship. Yeah, here we go.
We get a bunch of pages of them fighting Ultron. That's where we're at.
Yeah, well, and they tell the corpsmen, they brought two corpsmen with them, and they have them, this is important for later, that they tell them to guard the ship, and they look a little scared. One guy's got like this uneasy, like the way his mouth is shaped, he's like, fuck this. And they're like, you guys stay and watch the ship just in case. And they're like, no argument here, good luck, peace. So they fight and they take out the Ultron, and it calls out for them to kill it, because nobody wants to be fucking melded with a machine like that. So Gamora does it pretty quickly, and then Scott's in shock because he's just not the type of guy who's going to kill somebody like that. And then they move on to a door with another Ultron who is in the doorway, and they need to get through. So Gamora chops the arm off of that motherfucker while Scott shrinks down, jumps through, and kicks its ass. So Scott's wondering if this was all a mistake, coming out to space and joining up with the Guardians at this point, because all he really wanted to do was get the hell away from Earth after Secret Empire, because nobody's really happy with him, because
he kind of betrayed everybody.
Yeah, he betrayed everybody because they threatened to kill Cassie, his daughter, and now everybody fucking hates him. So when the Guardians showed up, he hopped on the ship and bumped out and went out into space, which is pretty cool. But so Gamora tells him about Nowhere. And, it's this place where all these people in the universe that have nowhere to go just disappear to. And maybe he'd be happier there. But before he can contemplate it, they get attacked again by another Ultron, calling out his name this time, though. So him and Gamora take him out. And now Scott's wondering why he didn't bring a fucking weapon. Like, I should have brought a ray gun, which is a good point. But that made me think, like, because I know a little bit about Novas, but I don't know everything about Novas. I thought, because you know how mostly they can fly, they can have energy blast, but that's not every Nova. I guess that's like an upper class Nova.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just the Nova that can do that or what. Like, I don't, because it seems like in the movies anyway, like that's my Nova knowledge basically, they're just kind of like pilots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Nova Corps, like, because they have regular guys that are just soldiers that wear the helmets, but I guess they have, because Richard Rider, um, fucking Sam Alexander's dad, like even Sam, I mean, he inherited his helmet for dad. Like they have those powers, but I guess they were like different Novas, kind of like the Raptors are for the Shi'ar, you know, like an elite team, I guess, that are given those powers. But it's weird because in some of Sam's lore, like he had to go to the home planet and study with their like great intelligence kind of thing that they draw their power from. It was, I don't know. It's a little murky. Maybe they don't have the helmet that gives them those powers, because, you know, you don't really need a weapon if you could do an energy blast from your hand. But I'm sure we'll find
Yeah.
out more about that later, because this is just an
somebody, if somebody knows a little Nova stuff, maybe I should have done some of the Nova stuff for Midpoint Marvelous Facts at some point. But yeah, if somebody knows any Nova shit we're getting wrong here, write us in and let us know.
Yeah, let us know. I've been getting into Nova lately. Like I downloaded I haven't read it a lot yet. I've read the first couple of trades of the Sam Alexander run, which I really enjoyed. Like started off with Jeff Loeb, and then Jerry Duggan takes over. So Jerry Duggan had a like a 20-something issue run on Nova, so it makes sense that he's blending this with the Nova Corps, and you know, because then he can explore certain things that he didn't get to finish when that book got canceled. So it's pretty cool. So I guess we're going to find out more as the time goes on, and Rich Rider joins the team. But anyway, you know, that goes on for like 4 more pages. They make their way down the hallways, they fight Ultrons, and then they hit a door that they can't get through, where the hostages or the survivors or whatever are on the other side. So Scott shrinks down and he goes through the air vent, which is kind of some handy dandy shit when it comes to stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
And finds the survivors. They get out of the room and meet up with Gamora and head towards the ship. Easy peasy, right? But no. When they get to the docking bay, the ship is gone. Those 2 coward jackasses took off and left them behind. Yeah, motherfuckers took off and left their superior officers behind. So you know the Nova Corps that we got going on right now isn't good, because, you know, people are stealing, they're sabotaging, they're taking off on their superiors. And it's really not good, because Ultrons are like popping out of the fucking ceiling, they're popping out of different doors, and they're coming for them. And that's how they all take their fighting defensive positions, and then it's a to be continued. So, you know, the next issue is going to start off with them fighting an army of Ultrons. And that's it. So if you know, we get a little preview for the next issue, which looks like I guess Star-Lord's going to be meeting up with Rich Rider, so that looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so buy, really borrow, or forget. What do you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. Marcus too, as always. I love his art. His art looked great. It was a nice opening after like Scott joining, and then they show up and join the Nova Corps at the end of the last issue, so we knew that this was coming. We get a lot of information about what they're going to be doing and what they're here for, and I'm really actually I'm looking at Star-Lord's fucking helmet, and it's equally as dope as Ant-Man's helmet. I love how they like melded their regular helmets with the Nova helmets. Like, it just looks fucking dope.
Yeah, everyone's got their unique look still, but are also in a Nova helmet at the same time. It's interesting. But
I loved the opening of this arc, because I could already see where a lot of people are going to go. Like, we're going to get flashes of different stories from different times. So we know Peter next issue is going for Richard Rider. He's going to look for his friend and try to meet back up with him. We know Rocket is going to be pulling Rocket's going to be like the comedy. Like, you know, he's going to be trying to rob people while he's like fulfilling his Nova duties. We're going to get to see the end of this little this Ultron battle between Gamora and Ant-Man. With Gamora and Ant-Man, I mean. So I'm really excited for what's to come. This book has consistently never disappointed me. It always has fantastic art. It has a fantastic story. We're going to be getting in more with the Infinity Stones in the coming issues. Adam Warlock is coming back. This whole thing is just it's a buy for me. I love this book. Like, it's my favorite Marvel book right now. So I'm biased. It's definitely a buy.
Yeah, as far as, you know, in general legacy issue, I think this was a tough one for new people to get into. Like, I'm still a little behind. I've read like, I don't know, 5 of the 12 so far, so I don't have all the details, and I was a little lost about what was going on here.
Yeah.
The art is awesome, and I know it's kind of like the setup issue that'll introduce you to where everybody's going. Because what they do a lot of times is you get your setup issue about what everybody's going to do, and they kind of split up and go do that, and then kind of come together in the end. So that's what you can tell is happening here. Like everyone's getting their assignment and doing what they got to do. So it's good and bad as far as setting up what the story's going and kind of leaving new people jumping on in the dark a little bit at the same time. But yeah, I would suggest you go back and read the back issues, because this has been since All New. I don't know when All New Guardians started. Was it Marvel Now, or was it All
like
New All
6
Different?
months ago?
Yeah, I'm
All New All
a little
Different.
confused. All New All Different. Or no, it was Marvel Now.
Yeah, it was Marvel Now. They didn't.
Yeah.
Did the first issue have a Marvel Now #1 in the top corner box? I don't remember, but
I don't.
Yeah, it might have been
they've rebooted it.
A little bit after
Marvel Now again.
I think it was a little bit after Marvel Now, like maybe like a month after that. So it did just missed it, you know.
Yeah. So since that reboot, it's been really good. Since Duggan has done all the issues, it's been really good. So I would suggest starting there. And this is definitely a book I'm still following, but overall for this issue, just from a little confusion for me. I think it was a borrow, but it's something I'm still following going forward. So it's not like I'm saying don't read it, don't get into it.
And we're 14 issues in, you know.
It's not what I'm trying to say overall is it's not like a legacy issue like the one we're about to talk about, Captain America, where it's a fresh jumping on point. It's starting from the past issue. So yeah, you got to read the back stuff to really get all of what's happening here.
It's very hard to follow what's going on in this issue for a new reader, because this was led to from buildup of like 12 issues before it and the 0 issue from fucking Free Comic Book Day. Now you do have the Marvel premiere pages in the back that give you a little bit knowledge of like what happened before, but not much. It basically, the Marvel premiere page is basically like, this is the team.
It's like everyone's origin story, kind of.
Yeah, it's everyone's origin story and how they all came together, and that's it. I did like how it was Marcus too, so you get that like familiar feeling from the art you just read. But like I said, I'm biased because I love this book, but you are right. Like, it's not a great jumping on point for a new reader. You would definitely have to go back and read at least. Let me look at it. You'd have to read
probably the last
issue number 11. Yeah, minimum. But I mean, the last issue and the issue before that, 11 and 12, were both like kind of one shots. Even though they followed the story from the previous issues, they were one shots, because 11 was all about the Nova Corps. It was about a Nova guy who got lost. So that would explain the cold opening of the Imperator, the Shi'ar Imperator, and the Raptors. That would tell you the whole story of that was number 11. And the number 12 would tell you the whole story of how Ant-Man got there. And you could pretty much, from that and the paragraphs in the beginning of those issues, you could pretty much pick it up from 11 and on and know what know where you're going. You wouldn't totally have to go back to number 1, but it would be nice because it's been great since then. So
yeah, it has been a good book. Like, I would suggest reading it all, but if you're just trying to catch up quick, like Trevitt said, that's how you do so. But that's why it's my borrow, not because I think it's a bad book or put together poorly or anything, or there's anything bad about it. It's just, you're going to be a little lost if you're jumping in here. And you're a new reader. But we're going to send it off to the final book of the night, Captain America 695, and tell you all about that. All right, so there's my cut. All right, so sign out. We'll tell them, recap how to reach us and our books for next week, and we're done. 50, 40, 50. All right, here we go. All right, so that was Captain America 695, and we're going to wrap things up here with our sign-out segment, some minor and quick thoughts on Thor 3, which was Thor Ragnarok, which me and Trevor both saw this weekend. And I just to not, leave you in the lurch, I would suggest everyone go see it, because it's a great Marvel movie, one of their better ones in probably the last year or so, I would say personally. I don't know. I don't know how you want to talk about this overall, but like just a few of the characters, like all the new characters that they introduced, I really kind of liked. There wasn't anybody that annoyed me. And I think my favorite was
Valkyrie,
the Rock guy in the Sakaar prison. What's his name?
God, I can't remember his name right now.
I wanted
Especially
to
the
be like,
G
is that fucking Rock Slide from the X-Men before he introduced himself? But that's who it looked like at first, you know.
He was in Planet. He was in Planet Hulk. He was one of the guys that Hulk came back with from Sakaar, uh, to take over the planet. Like when he wanted to beat up the
Yeah,
Illuminati.
I loved every time he was on the screen. He would just be like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, he was fucking hilarious. You know who that was? That was the director.
Was it really?
Yeah, the director of the movie voiced that character. Me and my brother were talking about the kind of
That
argued about
was
that.
by far the character that stole the show for me in the movie. He was my favorite.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, whoever that was, and the fights were
Korg.
awesome.
Korg, that was it.
Korg.
Korg.
Okay, yeah. That dude is my fucking. He stole the show for me. One of my favorite Marvel movie characters ever. I don't know. The fighting was awesome. Like Thor and how he gets like his quote unquote new power was sweet. They trick you in the trailers a little bit about something that happens to Thor inside the movie. They didn't show in trailers.
So no spoilers. We're not doing no spoilers here.
Yeah, we can spoil it. I don't give a fuck. Like we've warned him. Like he loses. Like I thought he was going to lose an arm too at one point when the eye thing happened. He loses his right eye.
He loses his eye, which is cool because that kind of ties in. Like a lot of stuff in this movie was from like Jason's Aaron run of Thor. Like when you see future Thor and he's missing the eye. And like and a lot of stuff there were a lot of deep cuts in this movie. Some I didn't get, a lot I did get. I watched a video on it, and this whole entire movie was like a love letter to Jack Kirby and like in Thor from the beginning of Thor, from like I think it was Tales of Suspense all the way up.
There were so many comic book creators. Like there was even a bunch of DC dudes too in the like thank you credits at the end. Like I saw a shitload of names I can't remember off the top of my head, but like anybody that's had a hand in Thor, I think at least they pulled something from one of their stories in this movie.
And there was a
pretty sweet.
There was a prop. The video that I watched where he was calling out all the things. There was a prop that Taika Waititi played Hal Jordan's best friend in the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds. The guy who directed the movie played his best friend. And he took one of the props from the Green Lantern movie and he put it into this movie. And it was it was something that everybody would notice. I can't remember it right now, but it was something that everybody would notice, and that was pretty hilarious. Also, the weapon that Thor was holding when he was fighting Hulk is the weapon that Hercules uses in the
that giant mallet thing.
Comic, that mallet thing, and when in the Grandmaster's like giant building where where everybody lives and everything, Beta Ray Bill's head was out there, and Ares's head was on there. Like there were a bunch of different characters that we haven't seen yet in the Marvel universe. Like that's like heads were put out there. You could see Hulk's head was being built into it too.
Yeah.
Fucking Jeff Goldblum was hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, he was. I think I said to my buddy, I'm like, Jeff Goldblum is so fucking weird, but in a sweet way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was good he was a good character. Like I can totally pull off the Grandmaster and the Collector as like brothers in that universe without a second thought, you know?
Because Benicio del Toro was really weird in the first Guardians movie, so I could see those two being like elder brothers of the universe together. I could totally see that.
Yeah, I want to see it. Hopefully in a Infinity War we get at least a scene with them together, because I think that would be a show stealer.
I hope so.
Yeah.
How about the best fucking Stan Lee cameo in any Marvel movie ever?
Yes. Yeah. You never think they can top themselves with those cameos, and then they do. And then we're not. He was the hair cutter. I mean, like we talked about, he cut Thor's hair in the movie, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, and he had this fucking arm with all these like it looked like if he was gonna give you a haircut with what he was using, he'd chop your fucking head off, and it was just
like
fucking
the Demogorgon's head on his fucking hand there, kind of. That's what he used to cut the fucking Thor's hair.
Thor's all talking shit to him, like, "You're not gonna cut my hair." Then when he sees it, he's like, "Please be gentle, sir." Like, it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, Thor's new power that he gets is sweet, that he can summon down.
Thor Force.
Yeah, when he gets all pissed and there just wasn't really a dull moment. Like even the whole Banner thing where like he's been hulked out for 2 years and kind of Bruce has been in the trunk of the car, so to speak. Not being able to to have any memories or any control of what's going on.
That's
when
funny.
you kind of thought that he did have it under control. Remember when he's like, "I'm always angry," and I kind of got a rap on this, but that's not true. So
And
that's cool.
that was funny because do you remember in Hulk 709 we covered it? Fucking Amadeus was in the trunk when he was saying like, and the Hulk was like, "Get in there, I'm gonna take over now." So it was funny seeing that in the movie. It was almost like Greg Pak's probably, and he probably did, saw the movie before he wrote that issue and was like, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna throw that into my book," you know?
Yeah, they've done that with Hulk in previous things too, like in the run leading up to Chow's run, before Chow took over as Hulk, there was a little bit of that too. So that's something Pak has always, or Greg Pak has always toyed around with, that driver's seat fucking memory thing going on.
How about Matt Damon? Matt Damon in the beginning playing Loki in the play.
Oh yeah,
you notice that? That was Matt Damon playing Loki.
Yeah, that wasn't hilarious. Something I like remembered to talk about though. But yeah, that was funny as hell. Like there's a bunch of cool shit in this movie. Hulk,
Doctor Strange
really kind of steals the show a little bit. The Doctor Strange part was cool. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
And he was like, you get a taste of what the next Doctor Strange movie is going to be like. He's not like this guy learning how to do magic anymore. Like this guy can do
he's
the
not
craziest.
A rookie anymore.
No, he is no rookie, and he can do some fucking crazy, awesome shit to the point where he's even more powerful than fucking Thor and Loki. Like there's nothing they can just like treats them like he treats them like.
Especially Loki.
Under
him. Loki thing threw me off a little. I was like, oh fuck, he's got Loki all thrown off. So
I don't.
That was pretty
and
cool.
all the jokes hit. Like the theater that I was in just like laughed the whole fucking movie. Like there wasn't a moment that just didn't make you laugh. Even like moments that weren't supposed to be funny were funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The first end credit spoiler, when they're all in that ship, that's Thanos' ship they come across, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I told my buddies, because they're like, "What the fuck was that?" I'm like, "I'm almost certain that's Thanos' ship." And then I forget.
And that's how.
Spoiler. What was the second one?
Oh, I forget what the second one was because I was pissed at the end. I was like, "This is what we sat through the fucking credits for." I said to my brother.
I know. That's why I don't even remember it. That's how inconsequential it was.
It really was. Oh no, it was fucking Grandmaster coming out of that little thing. He's like, "All right, that was a great that was a great revolution. Now that we're all free."
Yeah. That's right. It was just kind of like it was kind of a little like the Captain America one and the patience thing, and I was so pissed at that fucking end credits thing too.
Fucking and Hela was one of the best Marvel villains I've seen.
I liked her a lot. I don't think she's dead either.
No, she's not dead. I think they said she's going to show up in Infinity War. Like she's going to be in the Marvel universe what like Death is in the comic books. Like yeah.
And the one difference between this movie and the Thor Ragnarok comic is that they stop Ragnarok in the comic and they don't in the movie.
No, it happens.
Yeah.
And then actually in one of the comics, everybody died. Like I think it was the J. Michael Straczynski run when it opened up. Like Thor was Donald Blake, and then like because they all always die, and then new versions of them are all reborn. So he had to go around. He went around and like he was in Broxton, Oklahoma, and he kept finding members members of the Warriors 3 and like his parents, and he would have to transform them back into themselves so they could be reborn. And then he rebuilt Asgard, and that's when he rebuilt Asgard in Broxton, Oklahoma. And I liked how they had Gore the God Butcher, like his power, the Necro sword was part of Hela's power in the movie, so she could like create those swords. That was
picked up on that too.
That was so fucking dope. Like they did a really good job of taking things from the comics and putting it into that movie. And I love how all the little guys that worked for the Grandmaster looked like Celestials. Like they all look like they were wearing the Celestial armor.
Yeah, it's cool. Bunch of cool shout outs. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's a buy all the way around. If we had to put it on our scale of things, so that'll be a DVD. Well, I have all the Marvel movie DVDs, but like the Blu-rays, but that'll be definitely one I get on the first day it comes out. So
I steal them. I steal all the Blu-rays because those movies make $1 billion. Fuck them.
Yeah, I just like having them in order on a shelf next to my comics.
I know.
That's all.
I thought about that too. Like I wanted to do it digitally though. I was gonna like Google has that if you have a Google phone they have Google Movies. I was gonna buy all the movies. I was gonna buy all the DC animated films too, so I could have like this awesome collection.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to make like this cool shit. Like you have a tablet that's specific, like a mini tablet specifically just for controlling Google Chrome and the TV, and then I could stream any movies, YouTube, Hulu, like whatever I want from the tablet to the TV.
Yeah, I do that.
Digital.
I do that with my. I don't even fuck with cable anymore. Everything's digital in my house. So. But yeah, we're gonna wrap things up. Yeah, we're gonna tell you guys again how to reach us. It's at Twitter, Madness Marvel 1. DM's open for business and all the usual stuff. You can catch us there or email again. We'd love more emails from you guys. Even the people that emailed this week, feel free to email us anytime you guys want. You're not bugging us. And that's at marvelmadness0@gmail.com. So we'd love a few more to read next week. So hit us up. But yeah, we got a bunch of legacy titles next week. Some of them we've already covered. So we're not going to cover those again until we've kind of hit all the bases and hit all the new titles. But yeah, we got a request for Moon Knight, but we're going to do that one regardless anyway. So Moon Knight 188.
Hell yeah.
Master of Kung Fu 126, the second one shot. Daredevil 595 finally hits legacy numbering. And then Gwenpool, the first ever appearance of Gwenpool on the Marvel Madness Comics podcast. Number 22, this is the second legacy issue. But we missed the first one. I'm a huge Gwenpool fan personally. That might surprise some people, but it's been one of my favorite books since it came out.
I've never read an issue.
Yeah, Chris Hastings is hysterical.
I think that's good.
He's like famous for a web comic, something Ninja, I think. But yeah, I love this book, so we're going to talk about it. I'll fill you in on it, and that's it. You got anything to add before we sign out?
Oh yeah, I wanted to say one thing. Even if you think we suck, send the email. Tell us we suck. We'll read it.
Yeah, we'll read anything. I don't care. I don't have feelings. I'm 35 years old and I have no feelings anymore. So
me neither.
Say whatever you want.
If anything, it'll be for our entertainment. We'll probably laugh about it. So if you have a problem with anything, or if you want to point something out where we fucked up, point it out. Do it. Go for it. We don't care. And if anything, you'll be helping us. So go for it.
Make fun of my pronunciations, whatever. I get it in the Slack chat all the time anyway. I'm used to it. I have two brothers who are at each other's throats all the time. So I'm numb, and we will take any criticism and change it to make the show better. So feel free to holler at us. But that's it.
Do it.
We're going to sign out for you guys. Our party is over. The madness has ended. And we'll talk to you next week. Peace out.
Peace.